Hello, is I can here show you the big bird and the test coloring here. As you see between the as I get the words test and finals. As you have it, you got the test right here. You got test right here, and along with the word finals. But these two words right here, which would mean that more like that if you were to go to school and take like a subject such as science and English, or such as language arts, or it could be French or Espanol, or it's like such as Spanish, or it could be say Latin, or it could be math or social studies, such as others, and those others could be American history or geometry or biology, or it's like health. But you got these different subjects all the way right here. Is you have the subject kind of like they say is with like chemistry, or it's like you got chemistry or calculus. But you have it to where these different subjects right here is that you would be tested if you were to take a subject and then do like you say a report about it. It's like that is such as other than the subjects as you have is you got the sports, and then you got also with the weather, about what the weather is doing, and then right here is you got the news. And a lot of times this part right here is pretty much it's like with homework or whatever type of report that you do, so far as written documents or papers that you would need to fill out. And then right on this section right here is like a list of whatever subjects that you would have. And a lot of times whenever you go to school is that a lot of times you go to the classes, and then a lot of times the teacher or whatever would talk for a few minutes to maybe an hour or something like that, and then you would do like maybe one or two activities about what you call such as social studies, or it could be math. They have you do a few math problems or whatever you call it, and then along with English and then science. But you have these different subjects right here, and a lot of times is whenever you take the subject that they may give you homework, or they may give you a page to write, such as say a pop quiz. But really the word for test is that you just begin to wonder why is that like whenever a test does come up during the class, that you're like, well, why is it that you have to take the test, and then the whole purpose about a test. And a lot of times is that I'll probably say that which I'm sure everybody here would agree pretty much that during the test process, if you were to go to class and they were to give you a test, then more like it's that with the test, that the test will be the worst part of during that whole week. Or it could be that when we go into class, if you found out there was a test, that a lot of times is that if there was a test and then you didn't have time to study, then that's the reason. It's like they will kind of say is that will give you a headache. But a lot of times is that they will probably say that that you may have good luck getting a C or whatever you call it, or a B plus. Maybe if you maybe you don't have to study for anything, such as for notes, that you don't have to study any notes, but at least concentrate on whatever subjects it is. But so far as with here is you got the tablet. But right here, so far was the way with technology is that they say that technology has changed. So you got technology, and they say this is that so far as for technology and then change, that you have it to where it's like people would probably say that about almost every day about the electronics. But so far as like the study of how things work, the study about how technology works, is that if you were to come up with like a problem or whatever you call it, like a mathematic type problem, math, you see here, it could be like division. So you got the division, and along right here you maybe calculus or whatever you call it, two and then one half or something like that, or it's like you got say a fraction or something like that. But you have it to where you have these lines right here, and of course, which everybody will probably say that so far as test, if you were to test yourself, is if you were to write the date, today's date, that of course we write after Thanksgiving, but it's like you got Thanksgiving right here. And see here, right there, Thanksgiving right here. Thanksgiving, and put a dash right there. But a lot of times is that maybe whenever you were much younger, that more like that you would maybe spell Thanksgiving kind of like this. It's like so far with Thanksgiving, I don't know if that looks like my the handwriting that I'm used to seeing every day, but more like that if you were to test yourself with the different handwriting that you would have, like so far as today's date, that so far as 11/24, 1/12, that you could probably say that today's date, that if you want to add the date on there is like 12/01/12. But a lot of times is that you would test the way that that things work so far as the date, or maybe a newsletter or something like that, the way that sports, the way that the ball of the soccer ball rotates. But you have it to where that you test how the ball works so far as sports, and then you would test it, to see how well weather works. And then you got the lightning strike right there, along with you got the tornado for severe weather, and right here is you have the cube, and then along right here is you got the bird right here with the flamingos type feathers, and then along right here you got the cloud right here, the hovering cloud that where the wind blows it, and then right here is you got the scene right here for the bridge, that you have the water right here. And a lot of times is that with some, say, I don't know if say that it's a dermatologist or whatever you call them, that they would test the water just to make sure that if the water is purified and it's drinkable. But a lot of times there's like that special math equation, or that science study, that if it's like 1.216 or something like that, I really wouldn't even know how you would test the water, but the way that which I think it's on it's a study of chemistry or something like that, study of chemistry, or maybe whatever subject it is that they can test to see what's in the water, if it's clean or if it's dirty, and that it's been tested for amoxicillin or whatever you call it, or it said you have it E. coli or whatever. But you have it to where you got these testers right here, and a lot of times is that maybe maybe anybody can go on all day about test results. But so far as test and finals, is that for the test and then for the finals, is that so far is that the whole reason is the study of your knowledge.